Hi, this is Zach. It's a grey old day here and it's drizzling on and off. So I thought I'd do a quick build video, or it's not really a build because this plane just goes together with a couple of screws. I'll go through how I've laid out the components in this plane. So starting on the top from this side, I've got a little AXI 2 side feed antenna. Haven't used this before, but it's pretty neat. I got the one with the MMCX connector that goes straight into the VTX underneath. I've got the GPS unit from the Mini Talon moved across. As you can see, it fully fills the space that the enhanced version of this plane has for the GPS. So I've not been able to also use the plastic cover that goes over the top because it doesn't quite fit, but that's okay. Over the other side, I've got the L9R antennas poking out, and the reason I've decided to mount them in the wing rather than just taping them to each side of this rear canopy, which was a pretty nice angle actually if I'd done that, is simply that I'm undecided about whether this plane will stick with 5.8 video or whether I might go 1.3 just to give 1.3 a try. In which case I'll need the maximum separation I can for the 2.4 gig control signal with the 1.3 gig sitting on this side. Thanks, Ellie, that's enough. Hey, Ellie. Thank you. Sorry about that. So that's pretty much it for the top. I'll show you quickly the camera that I've used. So I don't know if you can see it, but I've just got the Runcam Phoenix 2. So I really like how the cable recess is already built into the fuselage, so it's out of the way. Yeah, the lens just sticks out. I think you might be able to see the top edge, but that's about it. And I'll eventually be using the GoPro that I'm recording this on now, sitting in the nose, but probably not for maiden. So inside the rear hatch, I'm using the stock motor 1300 kV, which is interesting because it comes with a 9-inch prop. Usually 1300s you'd be matching with an 8-inch prop on 4S, but it's nice and thin, so it should be pretty efficient. 40 amp ESC that came with. I'm using a Maytag F405 wing. I've just decided to stick with iNav, which is working really well on my Dragon plank. So very similar settings ported across, and hopefully it'll fly really well. Soldered a little capacitor, a Rubicon 1000 microfarad, as I normally do. I've kept the cables nice and short, as you can see, so there's not a whole gaggle of extra wiring sitting around. And I'll show you the underneath now. So on this side, I'll flash up a photo of the shielded cable that I've made. But essentially, because I'm not sure if this will stay on 5.8 gig or go to 1.3 just to try it. I know from reading forums that 1.3 gig can cause issues for servo chatter, so I've decided to start off with a shielded cable, which has a 4-pin plug down this end, and that way I can swap out the VTX for anything else. So all you can see here is the little heat sink that I've put onto an AKK X2 Ultimate VTX, and I'm just holding that in place not only with tape, but I've actually cut an old butter container lid, used a heat gun to shape it as a little holder for the VTX. I've already taped the little winglets because I see that as being a weak point from other people's videos, so hopefully that helps. Underneath you can see, yep, these little vertical tail fins just slip on, and you just twist and that just holds it in place. Really nice and neat. I've taped over this already, but I've actually removed the little 6-pin connectors on both sides because I wanted to run 4-pin wires through to both sides, the VTX as well as on the other side to my L9R, so that I've got the RSSI in addition to the control signal. That's pretty much it for this plane, not much to it. So hopefully once I get a chance to maiden it, I'll do it on a hill so that any launch issues before it's trimmed can be sorted, and I'm presuming that it'll reasonably launch and fly like my Dragon Plank, other than maybe having to deal with a bit of torque roll and a bit of extra trimming. But yeah, love the look of this thing. It's a nice size. With a 5 amp battery, I'm actually really surprised by how heavy it feels relative to the size of it. But I presume that ZOHD have done their homework, and other people's reviews of this plane suggest that it launches and flies quite well for its size. So yeah, really looking forward to finding out. Next time you see me out with this plane, it should be the Maiden. Cheers.